So what do you need to study the Bible? We're going to talk about tools today, and then we're going to talk about some various types of Bible study. First tool that you need, of course, is going to be a Bible. And I would recommend actually, if possible, to work with maybe 2 Bibles or even 3. Some of you would like to work with 10 of them, I'm sure, and some of you perhaps are even intimidated by more than one. But you should start with a Bible, start with a good translation. I'll put a link up on an analysis of Bible translations that you can check out. And what I would recommend first and foremost is to work with a formal translation. If you had to pick any, start with a formal translation. Again, I'll put up a link here for a description between formal equivalents and dynamic equivalents, or functional and free translation or paraphrase. Nevertheless, what works really well is to have one formal translation and one functional or dynamic translation. There are 2 different approaches to translation. They're both very good. And they both have strengths and weaknesses, and that's why they're complementary. So you might have, for example, an ESV and an NLT, or you might have a New American Standard and something broader, maybe an NIV. NIV is kind of in the middle, and then you could go way outside to a paraphrase like a Living Bible or a Message translation, something like that. So there's a whole broad spectrum of them. But for studying the Bible, a formal translation is very helpful because it tries to stay as close to how the original was presented while remaining still cohesive and easy to understand in the English language as well. All right. So you want a proper Bible. The other thing that you're going to want is to have a study Bible, or that's at least a good starting point. If you have some of the more major power tools, a study Bible might not be something that you use right away. But for most people, you might not have a wall full of books, of study books. So a study Bible is a really good starting point for that. So for example, the Faith Life Study Bible, which I'm going to refer to in a moment, but like the NIV Study Bible or the ESV Study Bible or the NASB Study Bible, they're all really good because they have critical and vital information that help you understand, who wrote the book, when it was written, the theme of the book, and even within the context of those books of the Bible, they'll give some explanations ranging from monetary units to locations and different things like that help you understand what's going on in the book. Ideally, it's good for you to have some type of a word search tool. Now, back in the day, before we were doing this on computers, it was called a concordance. And a concordance was a book where you could look up a word, and then it would list the verses, the passages in the Bible that contained that word. Nowadays, that's just a simple database search that we just take fully for granted. But I want to make 2 recommendations for you. One of them is called Logos Bible Software. Now, Logos Bible Software is available if you go to logos.com, logos.com, and they have a basic package that is actually a free version that you can download for your desktop. You can get for your mobile device, your iPhone or your iPad or Android device. If you want to do something just directly online through a browser, there's a website called blueletterbible.org. And let me just show that to you. Blueletterbible.org is a website here that you can see. And it is really, quite a nice site. And you can, search for words or topics. You can choose multiple translations. And when you want to go deeper into those things, for example, if we were to type in here Matthew, 23:1, for example, in the, let's say the NIV, and you do a search here. Now you're going to have the verse there, but then there'll be analytical tools that are available. They'll give you Greek. You will be able to look up Bibles, other cross-references, commentaries, dictionaries, And I might cover this in depth a little bit more at some point or another. So anyway, you want to at least have a search tool where you can search for a word, or you can search for a topic to find those. It's great for cross-referencing, and it's important to be able to cross-reference and to see, where things are in various parts of the Bible and what connections that they may have with each other, okay? Hey, if this video is any help to you, or if you're enjoying it, please do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you want to share this with some of your friends so that they can learn and grow as well, I'd really appreciate it. The other thing that you might want to have is a Bible dictionary or a Bible encyclopedia. They kind of fall under the same category, although a dictionary is usually a little shorter and more concise. Again, there's the Lexham Bible Dictionary. That is part of the Logos package. So if you get the Logos Basic package, it will come with the Faith Life Study Bible, and it will come with the Lexham Bible Dictionary. And just to give you just a glimpse, this is not the whole interface of the Faith Life Study Bible, but I will at least show you. For example, in Logos, you can have, I actually have to click on the right place here. You can have your translations opened up. For example, multiple pages. And again, I'm not showing you the whole interface, but here's the ESV. Here is the New Living Translation here that you can look at. And here is the Faith Life Study Bible. So if you're looking here at chapter 21 and it says he came to Bethphage, and you say, where is that? The Faith Life Study Bible will tell you it's located near Bethany on the eastern slope of the Mount of Olives. And then it gives you some other information as well, and some cross-references and other things that you can look up as well. So you'll want a Bible dictionary. Physical ones that are available, or they're also available digitally, are Eerdmans, that's Eerdman, Harper's Bible Dictionary, Eastman's Bible Dictionary, the Baker Bible Dictionary. These are all, pretty strong, really good Bible dictionaries that you can work with, all right? And then we come to Greek tools, okay? Greek tools, I could talk about Hebrew as well, but I'm going to mostly be spending time in the New Testament in teaching how to study the Bible. The principles are the same, but not to overcomplicate things, we're going to stay in Greek and we're not going to meddle in Hebrew. And Hebrew is really not a strength for me, whereas Greek is more so. Greek tools, there's one particular, if you were to spend money to invest in one Greek dictionary, it's nicknamed BDAG, B-D-A-G. The full title is A Greek English Lexicon of the New Testament and Other Early Christian Literature. Hence the shortened version BDAG, which is the first letter of the editors. Danker is one of the guys. I don't remember all their actual names, but we just call it BDAG. And it's a great reference because it not only deals with the New Testament, but also the other writings at that time, so that they have studied even beyond the New Testament in order to get a broader context of how the words were used. That's called a semantic domain, or a range of meaning. And it's an excellent one, but you're going to pay some money for it. On Blue Letter Bible, Thayer's dictionary is there. It's a bit antiquated, and there's a lot more accurate, newer information. So some of the definitions may limp a bit, but overall it's very good. And there's one, I nicknamed it the NIDNITTY, but it's NIDNTTE, which is the New International Dictionary of New Testament Theology and Exegesis, edited by Moises Silva. And it's fantastic. It's got a lot of information, how the word was used in Koine Greek and in classical Greek, how it was used in Jewish literature, such as the Septuagint, and how it's used in the New Testament. It's very thorough. Let me just say this, Strong's Concordance is available just about anywhere to anyone, but Strong's is probably reached the point of among the least respected Bible dictionaries that are out there, just because there was so little information available at that time. There's so much more information, and also because Strong's gives the entire semantic range in one definition. Just like when you look at a dictionary, you'll get all the definitions of one word, but not all of those definitions apply to a single word in its use and in its context. So it doesn't always help contextualize the meaning of the word, where these other ones do so more than Strong's definitely does. You want a way to take notes. So if you're a paper person, you need to have a notebook. If you're a software person, or if you have Logos, it does have note-taking capabilities, and you can build those notes right into even attach notes to scriptural passages and make your own notes. And it has Bible study tools as well. Or if you're just using Microsoft Word, or if you're using, Apple Pages or whatever, or Notebook or whatever, but you need somewhere to take notes. If you're going to study the Bible, you can't do it all in your head. You got to lay stuff out. I love a graph pad sometimes, because it allows me to just write things in different places and draw connecting lines and mind map some things, and that's also helpful. Let me give you a couple of different types of Bible study. And then we're going to, when we come back in our next session, we're going to actually start to dig into actual Bible study. But you can do historical or chronological Bible study. You can, study the historical development of Israel as a nation, or of the church, in the book of Acts, so on and so forth. You can do a historical study. You can do a study by book, for example, if you wanted to study the book of Romans just as a book. You can study it by chapter. You can study it by paragraph, by sentence, by word, break it all down. You can study by the author of a book. You can study the letters of Paul, or the letters of Peter, or Luke and Acts. You can study by character. You can do a character study of David, or character study of Saul and David, and contrast the two kings. You can do a topical study. For example, you can do a study on love, or you can do a study on peace. You can also study the Bible based on an event. You could study the exodus of Israel out of Egypt, and how it was applied in the Old Testament, and how it's extended into New Testament meanings. You could do a Bible study by cross-reference. Just when you read a certain verse, look at all of the verses that connect the words in that verse, and study by cross-reference. And then, of course, you can do an original language study, where you study a particular word or concept out fully in its original language, and then look at all of the layers of meaning and how they're used in the Bible in order to have a broad understanding of the use of those terms. And so we're going to start right from beginner, and we'll move to intermediate, and then hopefully we'll be able to do an intermediate to advanced course after this. But I hope you will continue to join along as we begin to dig in and start to do a study in the scripture. And we're going to do an inside to out study. We're going to start with a verse, and we're going to expand outward. Another approach is to start with a book and then collapse inwards. And so there are different approaches, and I'm going to start with the one, and we're going to build on that from there. All right. Hope to see you again.